And the Cardinals hoping for a series victory here this afternoon. From the Queen City, our BJC Healthcare difference maker, the Cardinals have found the long ball here at Great American Ballpark. Certainly a hitter's park. 7 home runs this season, with just 4 a year ago in 10 games. Cardinals have won 7 of 11 games against the Reds, and we'll take a look at the batting order for St. Louis here this afternoon. Matt Carpenter, Stephen Piscotty, and Jason Hayward 1, 2, 3. Randall Grichuk in the cleanup spot here this afternoon. Colton Wong, Brandon Moss, Tony Cruz will do the catching, with Greg Garcia getting a start at shortstop, and Michael Wacha will bat ninth. So a pretty strong bench for Mike Matheny. He'll have Borges, Reynolds, Cosma, Molina, and Peralta. A couple of all-stars on his bench. And they will face this afternoon another good young right-hander. Today it's Michael Lorenzen.
Yeah, it's one of these young kids that made it right up to the big leagues. Only 49 minor league appearances. He was their #1 draft pick, 38th overall in the 2013 draft class out of Cal State Fullerton. Pretty good hitter as a collegiate player, so we'll keep that in mind too. He's really had a tough July. He was 0-4 with an ERA over 8.5.
Yeah, on a cool afternoon, this game is underway. Ball 1 to Carpenter. Carpenter 1 for 4 yesterday, but his one hit a big one, a home run in the 8th inning to tie the score and set the stage for Grichuk's home run in the 13th. Game time temperatures at 64 degrees today. And now looking at the field here, there's still puddles in the outfield and the warning track, particularly in left center field, down the right field line, so weather may be a factor.
And you know that they don't really worry about the warning track or the outfielders, more about home plate. You kind of see that out in left field, out by the old Spice sign. There's see a pretty extensive puddle that we can see from here.
1 hour and 8-minute rain delay. Both clubs have dealt with rain quite a bit. There's a strike on the outside corner, and you wonder if the strike zone might be a bit bigger here this afternoon. We'll look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal of Michael Lorenzen.
Well, most of the time you're going to get that four-seam fastball. The changeup is a thing of he's really been working on. Pretty good curveball and slider. He was a short reliever in college. So they really felt like he didn't throw a lot of innings in college. You know, he was a two-way player. He was an outstanding hitter. And they feel like they're going to try and make him a starter.
Stephen Piscotty, by the way, from Stanford, and Lorenzen from Cal State Fullerton. You assume they know each other.
More than likely.
Two very good baseball schools.
And Lorenzen went to Fullerton High School and then Cal State Fullerton. He was born in Anaheim and lives in Anaheim.
The 1-2, good slider, just misses. 2-2.
It's going to take a little time to get used to him. As you see, he's got a slight hesitation.
A flare to right. In comes Jay Bruce for out number 2. Take a look at the Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's defense behind Lorenzen. And some different players in today for Cincinnati. Actually, the only one is the catcher behind the plate. That's Tucker Barnhart. Phillips and Votto on the right side. Suarez, Frazier the left. Bird, Bourgeois, he's a new guy. He's in center, and Bruce in right. So Billy Hamilton with the day off, as well as Brian Pena. Hard hit left field. Bird moves over and has it. Quick inning for Lorenzen. Michael Wacha takes his turn when we come back. Here's his batting order for this afternoon's game. Brandon Phillips, Jason Bourgeois, and Joey Votto in the first. And you've got Frazier, Bruce, and Bird in the middle of the lineup with Suarez, Barnhart, and Lorenzen at the bottom. So on his bench, he has Pena, the switch-hitting catcher, and Hamilton, the speedster, Ivan DeJesus Jr., and Skip Schumacher. Michael Wacha making start number 21. Al, a terrific year for this young right-hander.
He's second in the National League with his 12 wins, but he's trying to find his magic once again on the road. Got off to a great start. He's won 7 games on 7 of his 12 on the road, but his last 4 road starts 1-2 with a 7.54 ERA. He is coming off one of his better starts against Colorado. That was at home.
He was terrific on the 31st of July, and his first pitch to Phillips is up and in for a ball. Wacha went 7 innings, struck out 7, gave up only 4 hits against a Rockies team now that impressed us. Those guys can swing it.
And he's had good success against Cincinnati. You know, he's made 2 previous starts through 13 1/3 innings against them and only allowed 2 runs, both of them coming on a solo home run, 1 per game. On April 11th, it was Frazier got him in the first inning. April 17th, at Votto.
Fly ball to center. Grichuk, the center fielder this afternoon, puts him away. Take a look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal of Wacha. 53% four-seamers. Throws a changeup very effectively, has a cutter and a curveball.
I think he's gotten away from that changeup, and to me, that's too good a pitch to give up on it.
We said something interesting to Jim Hayes this week about the changeup. He feels the changeup is really kind of reliant on him having good command of his fastball.
That really is, every pitcher has to have good command of the fastball because it sets up those secondary pitches. And that was one of the things that Martinez didn't have last night. He was, kind of getting by on his slider, which can be a real weapon, but it wasn't, a Martinez start that we're accustomed to seeing.
No decision for Carlos. There's that changeup to Bourgeois.
The one thing about the 2 youngsters, Martinez and Wacha, when they take the mound, they most of the time get wins. They're 23-7 combined, but the Cardinals are 32-8 when these 2 guys take the mound.
Strikeout of Bourgeois gives us a chance to look at our Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's Cardinals defense. Piscotty, Grichuk, and Hayward in the outfield. The left side with Carpenter and Greg Garcia getting the start at shortstop. So an off day for Peralta. Wong and Moss on the right side, and Tony Cruz spelling Yadier Molina behind the plate. There's a good off-speed pitch, strike 1, and he's using it here in the first.
Yeah, Wacha really looks sharp right now, and you mentioned the 2 previous starts where he gave up solo home runs, 1 in each game. Both of them came in the first inning. So if he gets out of this inning unscathed, you kind of feel like he'd be on a roll.
Tony Cruz getting the start. Yadi, long night last night. The Cardinals 1-13 had made it feel a little less long, but Yadi has done so much of the catching this season.
I just have a feeling some way, somehow he'll find his way into this game.
I have that same feeling.
And this is really going to be a game where the starters need to go deep.
A lot of action in both bullpens last night. The Reds used 7 relievers. The Cardinals used 6. Seth Maness finishing it out.
The Reds threw 122 pitches from their bullpen. Cardinals just 110. That's why the tricky forecast here. Neither manager wanted to get their starter burned.
Ooh, hard hit. Right center field, long way to go for Grichuk, and he won't get it. One hops the wall, and he gets it in. Stand-up double for Joey Votto with 2 outs in the first. That man can hit.
You see, just down and in, just a left-hander's dream pitch or location. One off the wall. Grichuk gets it back in, but not before the double. His 21st double. On base percentage is just add to his .434 on base percentage with that double.
Waka trying to finish the inning. All-star Todd Frazier at the plate. And he takes that pitch high. It's been a frustrating series for Frazier so far. 1 for 6 yesterday, 0 for 4 in game 1. And the one hit he's had in this series was just a slow roller that he kind of topped to the left side of the infield.
3 for 22 on the homestand.
Pops this one up. So his frustration continues. Wong circles it and one-hands it. A hit for the Reds, no runs. We've played one. No score. Hitting streak will lead it off for St. Louis. Grichuk, Wong, and Moss for the Cardinals against Michael Lorenzen. Grichuk in that cleanup spot has hit, boy, every place in the Cardinals lineup, hasn't he?
He sure has. And tell you what, he's been delivering, and the national press is starting to pick up on the numbers that he's having. And we've been saying a while he's a candidate for the Rookie of the Year. Now he's starting to get some national attention for that.
The 1-1 is grounded foul. Grichuk has hit in the 2nd spot, in the 8th spot, and now in the cleanup spot in this series alone.
He's 4 for 10 with the big home run last night, the game winner. During his 8-game hitting streak, getting 375 with a couple home runs.
I think Mike Matheny has shown this season with the varied lineups that he's going to ride the hot hand. If a guy's hot, swinging it well, that's going to make a difference where you hit in the order. Late on that pitch, however, is Grichuk. 2nd strikeout for Lorenzen.
The one thing the Cardinals, don't walk a lot, and this kid walks a lot of people. So they're swinging some of these pitches that are out of the strike zone. That one at the top of the zone. So when we talk about that, it's tough for hitters. You swing through it or you pop it up.
Lorenzen had a 7-pitch first inning. Quick strikeout of Grichuk and a curveball strike 1 to Colton Wong.
Maybe he's gotten the message that with the short bullpens that you have to be more efficient. You have to go out there and try and stay longer.
Left side, Frazier, 2 outs. You mentioned the walks, Al, of Michael Lorenzen, who's 6'3", 203. He's only 23 years of age, but he's had 47 walks, and that puts him 6th in the National League. So he spent some time in AAA at the start of the season, so you add those numbers, and that's a lot of walks for a pitcher trying to win games in this ballpark.
Oh, sure. And they're still trying to determine what his eventual fate will be. Will it be in the rotation or as a short reliever? Mentioned he was a short reliever in college. They also, one of the reasons they think they can turn him into a starter is because he doesn't have a lot of wear and tear on that arm.
(92-94), the fastball for Lorenzen. Behind in the count to Brandon Moss, who has 15 home runs on the season.
See, now he's being a little more patient and he's getting the hitter's count. See what he can do with it.
He walks with it is what he does. So the Cardinals have their first base runner. That's Brandon Moss, and Tony Cruz, who's 0 for his last 14, will take his first turn here this afternoon. So hard for Tony Cruz to stay sharp. I know he does a lot of work and does what he can do, but you never really hear Tony Cruz complaining. He's playing behind one of the greatest catchers maybe in this generation that we've seen. I mean, I don't know who else you put up with Yadier Molina.
No, I mean, In this town, it's all bench.
Yeah.
There was the Pudge Rodriguez. We like to think that Simmons was an outstanding catcher, but he was really just an exceptional hitter.
As was Yogi Berra.
Yogi could do it all. He just ran out of fingers for his World Series rings.
He did. That's right.
Started putting it on his toes, and I think he ran out of those too.
The 1-1 to Cruz. 2-1. Moss does not run. For Cardinal fans who have not had a chance to fully get used to one of the new players, but Moss, more of a power hitter, infielder, outfielder, plays first and left and right. Ball line to left, but handled by Marlon Byrd. No score. Let's bring in our very own Jim Hayes with more on Michael Wacha.
Ricky, Michael Wacha was better in his last start than he was in his previous 3. He told me he just felt like he was more in sync. I asked Mike Matheny, how does a pitcher go about getting back in sync? And he told me throwing, just keep throwing. He says you have to do it by feel, and he says it's become a rare skill. He told me young pitchers get instruction and more instruction to the point they rely on coaching so much they can't get the feel for when things are working. He says for major leaguers, pitchers, and hitters, video is great when things aren't going well, but the best guys make adjustments based on feel. Rick, he thinks young players have to learn that.
That's a great point, Jim. Thanks for that. And Al, I'll ask you to follow up on that. The importance of feel for a guy like Michael Wacha and learning how to handle it.
Well, as a reliever, you didn't have time to have a pitching coach come out and talk to you. So you had to learn your own mechanics. You had to learn that feel, and you had to know that if your ball was going up and away, what you were doing mechanically wrong to correct it. And you had to do it quickly.
Right center field gap, long way for Grichuk, but he runs it down. Good range for the Cardinals center fielder Randall Grichuk to take a hit away from Jay Bruce.
Jay Bruce now 0 for 19 with 9 strikeouts against Michael Wacha. So even when he hits the ball right on the nose, the Cardinal defense, you can see Grichuk shading right field, and he goes into right center and makes a nice play. Got there with ease too.
From what I've seen from Grichuk so far, and it is such a small sample size, you don't want to kind of typecast him yet, but it seems to me that he goes, when he plays center, he goes very well to his left, to his right, and back, and the ball he's having more trouble with is the ball that is in front of him. Just reading that off the bat, which of course is not unusual.
Yeah, I know he got fooled the other night on a big swing by a guy that you think about.
Grounded to the right side. Moss and Wacha handle Marlon Byrd.
That you sometimes will see a big swing and you think you can misread it.
And with 2 outs, let's go to Al Raboski's Toyota keys to the game.
Well, one of the keys to this game is going to be which starter can go deep into the game. We've talked about the Reds used 7 relievers. They threw 122 pitches. The Cardinals used 6 relievers. They threw 110. And then the magic number for Wacha is 4. When he gets 4 runs or more, he's 18-1. When he gets less than 4 runs, 9-20.
Fly ball to right off the bat of Eugenio Suarez. 1-2-3 inning for Wacha. We've had just 1 hit through 2 innings. No score. A lot of Cardinal fans on hand. They have weathered the storm, so to speak, and hoping for a Cardinal victory here this afternoon. The Cardinals have had plenty of them. 68-39, 5 games over 500 on the road. A lot of teams would like to be that at home.
today, there's only 3 National League clubs that were playing over 500 on the road.
Shallow center, rather deep second base. Brandon Phillip waves off his shortstop, literally, and makes the play to retire Garcia.
Walker can't help his own cause here. Is another rookie pitcher that the Cardinals seem to be having trouble with.
Well, that's all the Cincinnati Reds have. 5 rookies in their starting rotation. A lot of young pitchers. Well, we saw that out in the homestand, just one after another. You look at what the Mets are doing in the National League East with all their young pitchers. It's really been kind of amazing to watch these young guys develop. Walker bounces out 4-3.
Yeah, things go in cycles. And wasn't that long ago we were complaining about where's all the pitching. Well, we found the pitching now. Now it's become the lost art of hitting. This guy can hit, though.
Yes, he can. Matt Carpenter came into play at 263 with 15 home runs. Lorenzen on pace for a no-hitter, throwing 55 pitches. Making it look easy so far, isn't it?
Well, and he's helping the cause. You know, Cardinals are not really hitting the ball hard. A couple strikeouts in there. Hayward was one that did hit a ball hard right at the left fielder.
Oh, 2 to Carpenter. Breaking pitch misses. Cardinals with 5 left-handed batters in the lineup against Lorenzen here today. Cardinals faced a lefty yesterday in David Holmberg and managed just 2 hits in 5 innings. Definitely fared better against righties. Close pitch there. A little inside to Carpenter. Cardinals, in fact, in that game yesterday, Al, just 6 hits in 13 innings.
Right.
Yet they won it.
Remember we talked about the first 2 runs were a hit batter and a walk came around and scored the first 2 runs for the Cardinals, and then it was the home run by Carpenter to tie it in the 8th and Grichuk's in the 13th to win it.
Full count to Carpenter. 2 outs in the 3rd, and he takes a walk. Second walk for Lorenzen, and you talked about this being a problem for him. And those walks tend to get you after a while.
Well, and when you're swinging early in the count, you're not giving him a chance to get him out. Just for curiosity, I looked to see, said 5 left-handed batters in the Cardinal lineup. Lefties are hitting 326 off of Lorenzen. Righties 228.
Glad you were curious. Ball 1 to Piscotty, who flew out to right. Piscotty still looking for his first major league home run. This would be a good ballpark to get one of those.
Looking for his first hit. He's 1 for 8 in this series. 0 for his last 7. Excuse me, 0 for 9 in this series.
Never really seems to be overmatched, though. Guys go into slumps, but he still looks like he belongs here, if you ask me.
No, I definitely think that. I think problem he's had recent, you know, remember he had 10 straight starts where he had a base hit. got rung up on a couple pitches. I think he disagreed with the umpire.
Late break on that delivery, and it froze Piscotty 1-2.
Kind of a hanging slider there, though.
Sure was. Lorenzen has his sign, and the pitch, check swing, foul. Tucker Barnhart doing the catching today. He's been a little more successful than Pena throwing out runners. Still a little surprised the Cardinals didn't run more on Pena the last couple of nights.
We had a member of the Reds broadcast crew that came in here, was mad at us because couldn't understand why we weren't running against Pena.
And we said, hey, it's not our fault.
We said we've been trying
We're
to get
just the
them.
messengers here. But they were surprised because they know the problems that Pena's had throwing the baseball, and with somebody like Jason Hayward as an example, who's 16 for 18 late in the game, you'd like to see him go. 1-2 to Stephen Piscotty, and the pitch, broken bat blooper over the shortstop's head, but he runs it down. That's Suarez for out number 3. Cardinals hitless through 3, and we're scoreless through 2.5. And needs something to smile about.
He's mad because he hadn't seen a Cardinal hit yet.
Well, he's dressed for the part. I think he wants some ice cream or some Skyline chili. That's probably what he's looking for. Don't you think?
Young man has too much intelligence to go to Skyline chili.
How about some peanuts? That'll keep him busy for a while. Michael Wacha. Even count on Tucker Barnhart.
Switch hitter Barnhart, but with an 087 batting right-handed, I think you got to stick to left-handed hitting.
It's exactly what Suarez
gave up.
The hitter before him in the lineup, he gave up hitting left-handed. Pretty good swing here from the left side, however. He lines that one foul. So anybody can actually switch hit, Al. You just might not necessarily do it well.
Very true.
Ground ball right side. And there's out number 1. Mike Matheny tried switch hitting one off season. Follow the Cardinals with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball, in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet.
Actually, a pretty good hitter in college. He had 335, 7 home runs, 53 RBIs, and 12 stolen bases. He has the school record of 35 career saves for Cal State Fullerton. He had a 2-hit game against Cashman.
Did have a nice swing on that delivery on the inner half. Wacha trying to pitch him in, but it was not your normal pitch or swing right there.
Right.
The 1-1 pitch, breaking pitch, misses low. 2-1.
Tony Cruz may have noticed that swing too and goes to the secondary
Right.
pitches. Said, no cookie fastballs.
We're going to have to trick this guy a bit. Good crowds the first 2 games of this series, with weather threatening here this afternoon. A little more sparse today. And temperatures, we mentioned, in the low to mid 60s. Don't expect that on August 6th. The 2-2 swing and a miss. He strikes him out, climbs the ladder with him. Strikeout number 2 for Michael Wacha. Brandon Phillips will take his time getting to the batter's box with the pitcher making out number 2. I'm not familiar with that walk-up song, Al, are you?
No. And I don't think I ever will be.
We know that Brandon likes it. Strike one on the Gold Glover, All-Star, terrific player, Brandon Phillips. He's been around. He's kind of getting towards the end, though.
Yeah, and he's had his problems with walk is 2 for 20.
And now 3 for 21. Another 2-out hit. Walker gave up a 2-out double in the first inning. And you were talking about it yesterday, Al, the importance of finishing games as Lackey did. That's where you brought it up. But you also have to finish batters and finish innings.
You kind of learn, too, that, you know, with 2 outs, you got to bear down even tougher. Really, to have that efficient inning.
Jason Bourgeois playing center field here this afternoon. Takes ball 1. Bourgeois struck out in the first.
Billy Hamilton had been striking out quite a bit. We'll give Bourgeois a chance, maybe a rest, and that's a weapon you can have on your bench too if you need to steal a base or 2.
Well, we saw that weapon when Hamilton first came to the big leagues, and he was being used as a pinch runner. He was a game changer.
Remember Herb Washington?
I do.
Charlie Finley in the A's got a world-class sprinter and made him his his designated pinch runner. Problem was they knew he was going to go, so they just kept on throwing over and pick him off.
Fly ball to right. Long way to go for Hayward towards the line, and he makes the play. Careful with his footing and with the rail. No score through 3. It's at cardinals.com/promotions.
You heard the story about Red and Joe Linneman coming over from Germantown to go to a Cardinal tryout?
I did.
Only had enough money to get back across the river. So they went to try out the first day, and they said, well, we want you to come back tomorrow. They didn't have enough money to go back and come back. So they slept on a park bench. Both of them got signed. And Joe Linneman was a left-handed pitcher who claims he won a game in the minor leagues with 20 walks.
But wonder how many pitches he threw in that game.
There was no pitch count.
I know. There's the Cardinals' first base hit off the bat of Jason Hayward. Over the head of Brandon Phillips. Like he might have been jammed a bit, Al?
Actually, his line out to left field was better hit than this one, but he gets rewarded with this one. Gets right over the leaping Phillips. He tried to time that perfectly. About a 4-time Gold Glover.
Good player. Well, we can stop the no-hit conversation. We don't have to worry about that. Not going to happen.
I don't think we were worried about it. It's not in the 3rd or 4th.
He almost threw that ball away. Now he throws it out. Make a bad throw, get rid of it. Hayward, a threat to steal, as we've mentioned. 16 stolen bases. It's a bit of a walking lead, not going, and there's a slider for a strike to Grichuk, who struck out his first plate appearance. Has an 8-game hitting streak on the line here this afternoon. Outfield is deep, as they should be. 1-1 inside for a ball, and that's the pitch, among others, Al, that you'd like to see Grichuk lay off, be patient with.
Exactly.
Kind of know the zone, maybe shrink the zone a little bit.
And you kind of can know right now when you're facing the Reds, you're facing the Pirates, they're going to try and come in a lot on you. Both pitching staffs try to pitch inside, which I think winning clubs do.
So they miss in, then they miss away. Grichuk able to lay off both pitches. Will Hayward be running here? Lorenzen curious about it himself.
Lorenzen, you know, is probably racing through the minor leagues. You know, just 49 games in the minor leagues in his career. Probably hadn't had a whole lot of base runners, and probably that's an aspect. Was a little slow to the plate. That, you know, some clubs will exploit more than others.
So a new bat for Randal Grichuk. He doctors it up a bit. Umpires have been asking players to do less of that. Be ready. Just get the bat and let's go. Part of the speed up rules. Again, being relaxed a little bit, I would say, as the season has gone on. And maybe Hayward will run now.
This is one aspect with Grichuk. A lot of strikeouts, very few walks.
There he goes. There's the strikeout. The throw to second is not in time. Hayward gets the back of the bag. Brandon Phillips not so sure. So Grichuk strikes out for the second time, and the Cardinals have a runner, at least for the time being, in scoring position in Hayward.
It's the 17th steal for Hayward in 19 attempts, and did a nice job altering his line to the bag. Strike him out. They're going to try and throw him out. See the throw right there. Short hops a little bit and does a nice job. That big wingspan of going around the tag and getting that hand, the right hand on the back of the bag ahead of Phillips's tag. That's pretty athletic right there.
So he's got the hand and he's got the foot just in case the hand comes off. Pretty good body awareness for Jason Hayward. Good athletes have that, don't they?
Yep, they do.
Here's a good athlete at the plate, Colton Wong. Has power, speed. Made 10 errors on the season, but a lot of those came early and in bunches.
Yeah, it seems like he's
pop foul towards the Cardinals dugout, just out of play.
I bet it's been at least a month, somewhere in proximity since the last error for Wong.
Sure seems like it. Open stance at the plate. In the dirt, blocked by Barnhart. Cardinals threatening here in the top of the fourth inning. Just had 3 hits in this game so far. Wong with a chance to get the Cardinals on the board. Grounded foul.
The Reds players was on that.
Billy Hatcher.
Billy Hatcher, the coach, first base coach, and he was by the first base coaching bag, sitting right there, and that ground ball was chasing him down the steps.
And he was smart enough to get out of the way.
I always liked Billy Hatcher.
Oh yeah, me too. Good eye by Wong. 94 off the plate. 3 strikeouts in the early going for Lorenzen, but he's also walked 2 Cardinals. Hayward aboard. The lone Cardinal hit. Three and 2. Brandon Moss will bat next. Cardinals had 15 strikeouts here last night. Whew. And the 3-2 is high for a ball. So another walk for Lorenzen. That's 3 already. And they're starting to see a little bit of the evidence of why Michael Lorenzen has only had 2 starts where he's gone 7 innings or more.
Yeah, and they also talk about, too, he'll give up share of home runs. 15 home runs and 84 in the 3rd innings coming in. Wouldn't it be nice to get Brandon Moss's first home run here as a Cardinal?
15 in the American League. Looking for his first in St. Louis.
We've documented year after year after year how much trouble the Cardinals have had when they face a pitcher for the first time. And every Cardinal in this lineup is facing Lorenzen for the first time.
Tries to catch up with that high fastball. Doesn't get it. 1-1. Michael Lorenzen 23. Michael Wacha 24. 6 zeros on the board in the early going. And the pitch to Moss. Grounded foul. Watch out again. Well, you better be alert over there in the Cincinnati Reds dugout.
Didn't used to put that protection up in front of the dugouts, but
no,
they need it now. Hey guys, you whip the ball.
Could have used that protection the day Barry Lyons came into our dugout and hit
Tudor's kneecap.
Ran into John Tudor, who was sitting right next to me. Now, if I'd have been,
if you would have been a good teammate, you would have sacrificed your body.
I should have, but in that time, I just wasn't. I guess I just wasn't reacting quickly enough.
Well, Tudor, being Tudor, didn't react at all. He was like, I'll just let him run into it, He didn't expect to get hit and fracture his kneecap. I remember that so well.
Just add that to the animosity that existed between the Mets and the Cardinals at the time. And there's a little bit of that right now with the Reds and the Cardinals. You think about Dusty Baker and Tony La Russa, and a lot of that is kind of calm, but there's still some animosity. Swing and a miss. Moss strikes out. 4th strikeout for Lorenzen.
The Reds are going to have problems when they get together with the Pirates the next time.
Oh, yeah.
Pitch up and away out of the strike zone, and he chases it. And we haven't heard any suspensions or from their altercation over the weekend. 3
players who were kicked out of that game: Marlon Byrd, Joey Votto for Cincinnati, Sean Rodriguez. But we were told that there may be suspensions, there may be fines of people that weren't even kicked out. Line drive to left, and it's going to drop in front of Byrd. A throw to the plate. Hayward is safe at the plate. 1-0 St. Louis.
Way to go, Tony Cruz. And with the throw home, Tony Cruz gets himself into scoring position. Good read by Hayward. Of course, there's 2 outs. He just takes off. But he was well around that bag before Byrd got the ball. And then wasn't a particularly strong throw.
So it's Tony Cruz coming through. It's a broken bat. Bat dies a hero. But Hayward able to score. Able to score because of the stolen base for Jason Hayward. They're going to intentionally walk Garcia, and here's that stolen base. Hayward hanging on.
We talked about it last night, and one of the keys of the game is manufacture runs. And a lot of that we were talking about, stolen bases with Pena back there that only been successful 10% throwing out guys. But Hayward uses those feet and a very athletic slide, gets himself in scoring position. And good for Tony Cruz.
Yes. Cruz breaks an 0 for 15. And the Cardinals demonstrating here what you were talking about earlier in the manufacturing runs, but particularly with the stolen base, how that can put pressure on another team. Wong, Cruz, and now Garcia, the runners for St. Louis. 1-0 in the fourth. Waka trying to add on.
Now you want him, he's going to try, obviously, but really make sure you're swinging at strikes.
Yes.
Already he's walked 4, including the intentional pass.
Bouncer to the right side. Slow roller. Waka retired, but the Cardinals strike first here in the rubber game from Cincinnati. Tony Cruz, base hit. Jason Hayward slide. One nothing, bottom of the fourth. Between innings, Mike Matheny talking with our home plate umpire Scott Berry, and we believe it's about that play at the plate, whether or not Barnhart is blocking the plate with Hayward coming home.
See, the throw takes him a little bit that way, but he literally, you got the right to run right over that catcher if he stands right in the way, and it looks like he even stands on Hayward's left hand. But I think that's still, the interpretation there is still a little fuzzy, and I think Mike out there to get a clarification, and also I think to help an umpire a little bit too, saying this is the way the rule was being interpreted, and this is how we're going to do it. We haven't seen anybody run over a catcher, but there are times when you can.
And that would have been one time where he could have certainly run over the catcher, but the point is, if he's sticking his leg in there at the last minute, it's too late for Hayward to change his mind and go from slide to bowling him over. And I think that's what we're seeing time and time again. We've seen it twice with Hayward in the last 2 weeks, where he's had an awkward slide where he could have gotten hurt at the plate with the catcher going up the line.
And you saw he wears like pads on both hands, and it looked like catcher stepped on that pad on his left hand.
Hayward certainly had an impact in that inning. The leadoff base hit, the stolen base, the slide at the plate. 1-0 St. Louis, as Waka has been sharp in the early going. He's behind Joey Votto 3-0. Votto's walked 81 times this season. That look of bewilderment.
Oh yeah, you're going, what was that swing?
What am I doing? 3-0?
And he chases the ball.
An interesting look on Votto's face, wasn't it?
It was.
I'd love to know what's going on inside the brain and the mind of a hitter at the plate, a pitcher on the mound. What is he thinking? How much is he able to block out? Where's the focus? And he gets his walk anyway. First walk for Michael Waka. It's now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag MWDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Tough part of the order for Waka, with Votto, Frazier, and Bruce due up. Frazier popped out, and he waves at that first delivery.
About that swing.
We've seen some frustration from Frazier in this series, who having a very, very good season. 27 home runs, second in the National League, leads the league in doubles, so he's clearly a power threat. And he has 68 RBIs and another bad swing. Not even close. Those last two swings, if they put that on a tape for him to look at, I would say he would throw that one away.
Well, he would probably say those are my two worst swings of my career.
You know what Willie McGee used to do? He'd have two bad swings.
Get a line drive.
Right.
Why?
Like he was setting people up.
Why do we always say, look how dumb pitchers are? They throw one in the dirt, he swings at it. Throw one over his head, he swings at it. And then they throw one down the middle, and they wonder why it hits a line drive.
Willie was just in St. Louis. He and Ozzie with Danny Mack with the night of the Cardinal Stars that we understand went very, very well. So
2 nights, Monday and Tuesday.
Kudos to Danny Mack for pulling that together, and the Cardinals. Fly ball to left. And Piscotty has it for the first out, and another offer going for Todd Frazier here.
Frazier 2 for 24 in the homestand. Like you say, he leads the National League in doubles and extra base hits. And he's just had a problem this series. Jay Bruce still trying to figure out Waka. 0 for 19 now.
Short lead by Votto, barely a step off the bag. Ground ball to the right side. Waka will tag Jay Bruce, with Votto advancing to second base, out number 2. Kind of an interesting point. You think about just how kind of off Frazier seems to be today, and not to undermine the pitching matchups and the numbers that we give you night after night on Cardinal games, but you know, when a guy's in a slump, there are times where it really doesn't matter who's pitching. So let's say Frazier goes 0 for 4, and 3 years from now we say, well, Frazier can't hit Waka. Well, right. Frazier couldn't hit anybody in that particular period of time, and it's just in a way that we sometimes overblow the matchups.
I got another question for you. We always talk about hitter slumps. Well, why don't we ever say that pitchers get in slumps? Because they do too.
Of course they do. Don't feel the ball right, just off, mechanics off a bit. I think Waka may have come out of a mini slump.
Good point.
With that last outing. Good pitch there to Marlon Byrd.
And I think, you know, the one thing you got to pay close attention, because Martinez and Waka still so young in their careers, and as innings mount up, you got to pay a little attention to see if, you know, they need a little breather or something.
Good fastball again at 96. He blew it by Byrd. That one had a little hop to it.
And Byrd also looking for a first hit. He's 0 for 11. You know, Walk at 6'6". He throws it from that high angle, and he can keep that fastball at the top of the zone, and then when he throws that changeup and everything down, it's really tough.
The 1-2, good changeup down after the fastball. Byrd waves at it. Waka strands a Red at second. Thanks, Pat and Brad. Michael Waka may be just 24, but he still looks older than Brad Thompson, if you ask me. Agree with that, Al?
Hey, Brad looks 16 now.
He does. Does a great job. Looking forward to the post game. Following our telecast here this afternoon, and hopefully a Cardinals victory. Top of the order, Carpenter, Piscotty, and Hayward to face Lorenzen. And you'd like to see a little more support for Waka. You mentioned, Al, 4 more runs.
That's magic number for Waka and really all the Cardinals.
Just a very light rain falling here currently. Little flare into right field. Diving attempt by Bruce. Carpenter trying for 2. Ball got away from Bruce, which allows Carpenter to get into second with a stand-up double. Double number 27 for Carpenter. And here's the effort for Bruce.
Yeah, he's a good outfielder. And here, worth the dive towards the end of the bat, so it's not going to carry. And then when The wet grass there. Bruce went scooting along, and so did the ball. Just kept on going further away from him. But a hustle double right there.
Now Piscotty.
So you've already replaced that area of the grass one time, as Bruce kind of tends to stay in one spot. Maybe that's where he wants to ever replace the turf, so I'll know where to stand.
That ball hit Piscotty. He had squared to bunt.
They're claiming they're going to get their Price wants that, saying he bunted, and first base umpires telling him no, he made an attempt to get out of the way.
Price still not so sure. Still claiming that there was a bunt attempt.
Well, he starts out, but you see, sees that ball running in. You see how he pulls the bat back, and that constitutes trying to get out of the way of it. So it is a hit by pitch.
I think the right call there.
Absolutely. Can't blame Brian for trying, though.
No, of course. We always see things through our own frames, don't we?
Yep.
Big swing by Hayward, fouls that one back. Single scored in the fourth inning. Only run of this game.
Lined out to left his first time up. Maybe the hardest ball hit in the game.
Rain a little heavier now. We've been dealing with rain all day. 0-2. Hayward's hands must have slipped off the bat there. He's asked for a little bit more of the stickum, which Randall Grichuk had a supply of in the on-deck circle, and he's working his bat hard right now.
This rain is an optical illusion.
Okay.
Just looked at my weather report showing no rain the rest of the day.
The 0-2. Really had to get that stickum on the bat because of the, I guess, optical illusion of rain
right.
that was affecting his grip on the bat.
Optical illusions can do weird things.
Spoken as only the mad Hungarian could say it. 1-2. Ground ball right side. Phillips doesn't get the tag, so he has to flip the ball to second base. He was trying to tag Piscotty, who did a nice job of eluding him. So instead of a double play, which he may have gotten had he just turned to throw to second initially, but he was trying to do it kind of the easy way. And it turned out that Piscotty was just a little too quick for it. Very good base running by Piscotty.
Well, he's a very smart man, so he knew how to elude that tag. You do get the force out there at second, but now you have runners at the corners. Of course, they're thinking that they still have the double play in order with Grichuk at the plate, who struck out twice today.
Matheny is checking the video, and I think he may be wondering about this call, whether or not the foot is on the bag or not for Suarez.
Real close, and they're going to be their argument, and they're apparently going to review it, or at least to get together and discuss it.
I think the interesting thought here is you cannot review the neighborhood play on a double play, but when you have a force or a fielder's choice, that's a different story. If you believe that somebody's pulled their foot off the bag on a particular force out somewhere, you can review that, and I think that may be the discussion right now. That's Ted Barrett, the crew chief, and they're discussing what constitutes neighborhood play, perhaps.
And part of it is it was his call at second base that we're questioning.
Was very close. We saw it on the replay. The foot of Suarez. And they are going to take a look at it. So they agree that this is a reviewable call, and here it is. There's Suarez. Is his foot on the base when he catches it? I would say not.
No, I would agree with that. I think it's James Hoy who came in there and kind of convinced Ted Barrett that, yeah, we can review this one.
Isn't that interesting, though? Because the reality is, had he thrown the ball to first base, you'd say, well, no, that's the neighborhood play and it's unreviewable. So by not throwing it, does that make it reviewable? One of the idiosyncrasies of this rule, perhaps? Because they're not challenging whether or not the throw beat him. I don't think that's the question.
Or the tag.
Or the tag. It's just, is his foot on the base or not? That's Ted Barrett, again the crew chief, who's on the bat phone with Commissioner Gordon.
You can see where Ted Barrett was positioned. You know, you can't see where he is there, but he screened like there. Look at the second base umpire. He could not really see when he comes off the bag because of Piscotty's body blocking the bag. But it doesn't look like the first base umpire from that angle can also tell either, when you look at some of the replays.
Well, we've seen a number of the replays on the board here at Great American Ballpark, and first reaction with the fans here was they thought, oh, well, that's good, he's out. And now second time through, they weren't quite as convinced, as they think they noticed that it's about the foot on the base, not does the throw beat him. And again, the throw has to be, or the ball has to be caught in the back of the glove, and we've dealt with that a number of times too this season.
Well, this could be a big play in this game.
I got to believe he's safe. That's what I'm saying. Unless they say it's unreviewable.
So he's out.
I don't know how they make that call.
Well, the only way they make that call is they're saying not enough evidence to dispute it, but we saw the evidence. It wasn't on the bag.
There's the foot off the bag now, and he hasn't caught the ball yet. I mean, how can that be undisputable evidence?
Like you said, we see it through a...
Well, I believe they missed that one. I'm writing my congressman. Took 2 minutes and 17 seconds. It's officially a crew chief review, not a challenge. There goes Hayward. Check swing. Another stolen base for Jason. I think part of the dilemma that we've seen in baseball, and this just has to be fixed in my mind, Al, is fans here at the ballpark are confused. I think we're confused because you never get the real answer. You get kind of the general answer, but not the specific answer as to
why.
We all want to know why. One and one to Grichuk. 2 runners aboard. The Cardinals still with a golden opportunity here in the 5th inning. Would have been a lot better had it been bases loaded and nobody out. Again, a key play in this game.
Now the beauty of a guy like Grichuk, who's had a tough day, struck out twice, but we've seen him not let things bother him. He could have a bad start to a game and have a really good finish. He's going to have his fair share of strikeouts, and they've come down since he's been playing every day also.
They have. But you're right, he strikes quickly, doesn't he? Cardinals hoping for that now. In the dirt, blocked by Barnhart.
one thing he needs to do, and it's really would be very helpful in his pursuit for the Rookie of the Year, is he needs to get his on-base percentage up by walking more without taking away his aggressiveness.
Fine line, isn't it?
Yeah. It just, I think early in the season, that pitch right there, a little breaking ball off the plate, would have got him swinging.
Now he's ahead in the count. He was 3-1 last time and ended up striking out. First base is open. I think part of it is you got to know situationally what they're trying to do to you too.
Young hitters too, they fear striking out, so a lot of times they will expand their zone thinking they'll get an out before they get to 2 strikes. Just got a piece of it.
Throwing out a lot of baseballs today with the wet conditions here in the infield, especially in the outfield.
Rubbing up baseballs here in this ballpark has been an issue in the past.
Yes, it has. Good point. Let's hope they did enough of them. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. Grichuk strikes out, waves at that breaking pitch, and I think he did chase there.
Well, he did. Especially when you get that full count at this level, you're going to get a breaking ball. You're going to get something off speed, with the first base open.
Hey, the worst part of him swinging at that pitch, it was never a strike. It started out low and was going lower. That's just pitch recognition there for Randall Grichuk. Colton Wong now.
And you're thinking they're going to come at you, but the first base open, know you're a free swinger. They're going to give you off speed.
Ground ball up the middle, base hit for Wong. Carpenter scores. Here comes Hayward, and the Cardinals take a 3-0 lead. Colton Wong comes through.
Stolen base by Hayward proves to be important again and allows him to score that second run. Of course, you got a left-handed hitter, and you see right there down and in, right where they want it. And doesn't pull it, but he takes it up the middle. And 2 more runs.
That's a big hit by Colton Wong in this game. Could have been a disappointing inning, Al. You think about that play at second base, the crew chief review that did not go the Cardinals' way.
Well, it's also, you pick up Grichuk, you pick up your teammates coming through with a big hit, and now can you keep the line moving? 2 out base hits, or they're
like daggers, aren't they?
Oh, they are. They'll eat at you and they'll stab you.
Brandon Moss. A walk and a strikeout so far. Will Wong try to take a base? Just got word from New York on that play at second base, and as we suspected, it was a crew chief review, and it was determined that it was the neighborhood play, and it constituted the neighborhood play, and so they weren't able to make that safe call with Piscotty coming into second base because it was considered to be the neighborhood play, even though he didn't throw the ball to first base. So an interesting kind of variation of that rule, and that's the official word out of New York. Neighborhood play, of course, not challengeable, and that's what they had to kind of think through, and that was the conclusion. Ours is not to reason why.
Now that explains it. Thanks, Ricky.
Just trying to help, Al.
I was confused, but then you just settled it right there.
Good. Glad I could help. 3-0 Cardinals. There goes Wong. High throw to second, and they got him. Good tag by Suarez. as he tags Colton Wong, and no argument from the Cardinals on that one. Time for our AT&T U-verse rewind. This came in the fourth inning. It's Jason Hayward with a leadoff base hit. Then he steals second base. First of 2 stolen bases here this afternoon. And Tony Cruz, soft liner into left, and there's Hayward rounding third. Strong slide at the plate, head first. And that gave the Cardinals a 1-0 lead. Tacking on 2 in the 5th inning, but a nice day for Jason Hayward. He scored 2 of the 3 Cardinal runs. You know, we've got plenty of baseball ahead.
I think we need to get a very quick 5th inning here completed.
Always want to get those 5 innings in when you're dealing with weather. I would make it official.
And you really, you know, you've got 7, 8, and 9 here, so go out, be effective and efficient.
Are you playing weatherman with us?
Yes, I am.
Mr. Rubaski?
Yes.
You know something I don't know?
Yes.
Well, you've got some folks that have come prepared. You might say over-prepared. And you've kind of got other folks just winging it. Now, you'd think there would be some sharing going on in that section. Maybe it's because it's Cardinal fans and Red fans, you think?
Got a little buffer between them.
Boy, talk about your divides. It's a great shot. I love it. Eugenio Suarez 0 for 1. Got the umbrella. You got 5 kind of rain gear things, and you got Cardinal fans in T-shirts. Line drive up the middle, base hit for Suarez. That's hit number 3 for Cincinnati. So it will not be a quick 1-2-3 inning for Michael Wacha in the 5th. Cardinal fans, did you know that the StubHub app is personalized just for you? Now with the StubHub app, you can select your favorite teams and artists and discover new ones too. Start at HubHub and let the fun find you. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the St. Louis Cardinals.
I mean, now a little double play ball. The Cruz out there. Tony was set up outside, and that ball was up and in. Have a nuisance rain right now. Try and keep your hand dry.
One 1-0 to Barnhart. Now 1-1. Well, we don't have much left of the batter's box and the catcher's box anymore, do we? With the nuisance rain, and they took all that time to kind of paint the box, and it's gone. There's the remnant. Almost nothing on the right-hander's box. Hole on the right side for Barnhart, who's been pulling Wacha. First 2 plate appearances. Tries to hit one over there with that swing.
I think that's part of the reason why they're trying to pitch him away and let him just roll over on a ground ball and get your 2.
Skip Schumacher has made his way to the on-deck circle. He'll bat for Lorenzen, whose afternoon is through. Cruz sets up outside. Ground ball to the right side. Moss to second for one. Back to first. High throw. Not in time. It was a high throw to Michael Wacha. Good thing he's 6'6". Close play at first base. And anytime you've got a play like that, kind of a tough play to do with tough conditions, you're happy to get one. There's the stretch.
Looks like it stayed on the bag, but really couldn't tell when the ball hit the glove. And now they work on the mound.
And while they do a little house cleaning there for Michael Wacha, we'll remind you that we've got something good for you tomorrow on Toyota Cardinals Live pregame. It's Storytellers Week, and it continues with a Red Shandine's tale from Tim McCarver. That's tomorrow at 6:30 on Cardinals Live. Very precise what they're doing. Looks like they're working on the Al Roboski too. Maybe bringing a new one. You know, that's what we call it. Danny and I decided that
useless piece of rubber.
It's called the Al Roboski.
Yeah, I heard you guys.
It's officially named that. So I don't want to have anybody ever call it anything other than an Al Roboski.
Thank you. It's useless, and that's what you're saying?
No. No.
Oh, okay.
No, you love to talk about that thing.
No, I don't like to. I said it's the only thing that they have done for the pitchers since they lowered the mound after the 1968 season, and it doesn't work. Watch it. He'll go through that, and then eventually he'll ask for a tongue depressor. There's a tongue depressor right next to it, which
right
is
next to the Al Roboski.
The high-tech tongue depressor is much more effective.
But I know that you feel that way about that thing, but we never knew what to call that thing, and I think it's just appropriate to call it the Al Roboski.
Some people never knew what to call me as the thing. I saw what I'm getting upset is I saw the grounds crew talk to one of the umpires and give them a little forecast. It's lightened up considerably right now, but it's on its way.
Perhaps the calm before the storm. And again, we are in the fifth inning, so this is a key moment here that Michael Wacha has to get through 5 for it to be an official game. The home or the trailing team has to hit in the 5th inning. So in this case, it's the home team.
Skip having a solid year, coming off the bench, pinch hitter, leads major leagues with 15 pinch hits.
Check swing, ball 1.
His last 40 pinch hits, he's got 11 hits, 4 doubles, and 3 walks.
So the weather window may be closing, perhaps. Wacha working quickly, but trying not to rush. That's kind of a trick too, isn't it?
That's a.
You know that feeling where you're in a hurry all of a sudden.
And he works at a fast pace anyway.
Right.
But when you try and get a little too fast, you kind of get out of your rhythm.
Fouled at the plate. Ahead of Schumacher now, 1-2.
Can't emphasize enough what a class act Skip is.
Very gracious. Short lead at first. Swing and a miss. He strikes out Schumacher. That's 4 now for Wacha. And he is 1 out away from this being an official game. How about that for a bird's eye view?
Doesn't do much for me.
You didn't like that view? You prefer the view of the Roboski behind the mound?
Right where I'm at.
Okay. Wacha Facing Brandon Phillips. Breaking pitch, big swing. That was funny.
He was trying to hit a 7-run home run. You think he guessed wrong?
Yeah, and this kind of hurts, doesn't it? Kind of a Reggie Jackson finish there. Reggie used to do that.
Or at least a Tommy Underwood. But
you faced Reggie? I don't remember Tommy.
Of course
Underwood.
I remember. I meant to say Lawless, but I played with Tommy Underwood too. He was a left-handed pitcher.
Lawless was the bat flipper. But
I know.
But Reggie did used to go down.
He would go down one knee, make a big swing. You know what I say about Reggie Jackson? His greatest contribution to the game of baseball is he glorified the strikeout.
Sure did. He had some World Series against the Dodgers, too.
Oh, he did.
Mr. October. Hard hit to right. Hayward, couple steps back, makes the play. Phillips is retired, and so are the Reds. We've played 5, 3-0 St. Louis. The right-hander Burke Batenhop, who we saw here, Al, in Game 1 of this series.
Yep, we saw him. He pitched well in the 7th inning of that game. 5th appearance on the homestand for him. Wednesday through his 12th scoreless inning. He hasn't allowed a run since July the 3rd.
Saw so many relievers yesterday, I forgot we saw an inning of him as well. He pitched the 12th here last night, not that long ago. They'll face Moss, Cruz, and Garcia in the Cardinals' 6th.
They used everybody in their bullpen except for Villarreal. And the Cardinals used everybody in their bullpen except for Randy Schoch.
Top 6. Moss swings and misses. 1-1. I
don't care how long you're playing. When you come to a new ball club, you feel like you've got to rush things and you got to hit a home run to prove your value.
He's going to get his share of those.
Yes, I mean, let's get it out of the way, and then he can relax and start hitting them in bunches.
Can be a streaky hitter. I like his RBI total too, 51.
When he joined the ball club, his 15 home runs and 50 RBIs would have led the team in both categories. Picked up one more RBI, a game winner on Sunday for the Cardinals. And Tony Cruz, who has a potential game-winning RBI in this one.
Was great to see him contribute, to get a break, just to get in the game. You see so little of Tony Cruz.
And Tony, he has game-winning RBIs in 3 of his last 4 games with an RBI. He's hit well, close and late, 375 average. Just doesn't get many opportunities.
Well hit to center. Bourgeois makes the play just in front of the warning track for the 2nd out. Michael Wacha having a nice start for the Cardinals, but you do look ahead as think about the 74 pitches he's thrown. Just how far do you go with him, with the rain delay a factor and Wacha's innings a factor, and of course what the Cardinals had to do last night with their bullpen a factor.
Yeah, we talked about it, you and I. The Cardinal bullpen was outstanding last night with 8 shutout innings, only 1 hit allowed. But really, there's some pressure. There's some arms down there that you can use. Not as bad as it could be.
Fly ball to left. Garcia now 0 for 2. Michael Wacha, put the bat down, get the glove, go back to work.
More opportunities to throw, where just Yachty's presence just stops the running game almost completely.
Rain continues to fall. Wacha continues to work. See how wet his jersey is. I imagine he's changed it once already.
Probably.
Would you guess?
Oh, yeah.
He'll have Bourgeois, Votto, and Frazier in the 6th.
You know how good we would have been if we had these modern jerseys and uniforms.
I would have been a lot worse, Al. I'm just saying. If I had to pitch today, I'd have been a lot worse because everybody's throwing 98.
Ricky,
strike zone's little.
Just think you would have been way below the comfort level of major league hitters.
Probably right. Maybe that'd have been a good thing.
Yeah.
Ground ball left side. Nice play on the backhand by Carpenter. And he throws out Bourgeois.
First game of the big leagues, they had the wool uniforms. Those were hot.
All I'm saying is I was fortunate enough to pitch against a lot of guys that never lifted weights.
But you can't tell me that country strong before guys that had the weightlifting and stuff, but kid that grew up on the farm and been throwing bales of hay all summer.
There were some of those guys, but there weren't 9 of them. You never had to worry about the second baseman taking you deep the other way, ever.
Speaking of second base, it looks like Colton Wong has a little puddle right in front of him.
He sure does. That may become a factor.
Well, last half inning they took care of around home plate, but it looked like around second base there. They'll be going out there very soon.
Well, as you notice that with the picture we're showing you, I can tell you that live it looks just as bad and looks unplayable, I would say. With mud forming there, and you'd think a ball would be caked with mud on a ground ball straight at Colton Wong right now.
And then when you see it, that'll produce an errant throw. And
yeah.
And there's
or worse, an injury.
Safety factor. Yeah. There you get an idea of what it looks like.
Not much better right behind second base.
Right.
3-2 pitch is ball 4. And Votto has walked for the 2nd time today and the 83rd time this season. Ready, set, go. Running enthusiasts, you need to race down to the ballpark on Thursday, August 13th for an exciting theme night at the ballpark. Fans who purchase a special Runner's Night theme ticket will take home a one-of-a-kind tech shirt. Get your theme tickets now at cardinals.com/theme. Well, there's something I could do, Al. As a running enthusiast.
Yes, you could do that. Get your calf ready.
Yeah, I get over my little injury here, but it doesn't say on that promo that you have to be fast. I'm checking it out.
Ricky,
so
yeah, you're just trying to make the team on the DL again, aren't you?
It's okay. That's all right. Anyway, August 13th. Cardinals.com/theme. 0-1. Good cut there by Frazier. Votto trying to cheer on Frazier, being very vocal at first base, yelling to him, let's go, let's go, as the conditions worsen here, especially in the infield.
Wong now is playing in between puddles.
Well, that's almost, you almost have to have a weather-related shift, don't you?
They kind of find a dry spot and then pitch to it.
I got to believe they're going to have to do some work after this half inning.
Yeah.
They probably should have done it before.
They had a couple guys go out home plate. Now they need about 10 guys to start working on the infield. They'll start around second base. And eventually, we'll have with the same kind of conditions over on the left side of the infield.
2-2 the count to Frazier. Votto the runner at first. He's been on base all 3 times. Inside, almost hit Frazier. Jim Riggleman flashing the signs, third base coach.
Cardinals fly off to Milwaukee. The Reds are going to Arizona after this game.
The 3-2 popped up right side. Wong through the puddle into right, gives way to Hayward, who makes the play.
Good communication there.
Sure was.
And Wong, once he heard that Hayward called him off, he made sure to get out of the way.
Got to lose that collision.
Yes, he is. Go up, you're fighting the raindrops. So Wong's going there, and he'll go after it until he gets called off, and there you see him peel off.
Really textbook communication. 2 outs now in the Reds' 6th. And Jay Bruce, who's 0 for 2 today against Michael Wacha. Bruce has been a very steady performer over the years for the Reds. 199 career home runs. Does strike out a lot. Also gets a lot of extra base hits. Trying to shoot the ball the other way, and Garcia, when he saw the swing of Bruce, took off in a hurry to try to cover some of that ground on the left side of the infield. The shift is on.
When he first came up, he just dead pull hitter, and that kind of got him to a point where he hit a few balls to the left field.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He strikes out Bruce, who's now 0 for 21 against Wacha. 6 innings in the book. And they're still doing that. And that gives us a chance to introduce our Chevy call to the bullpen. The one guy we didn't see yesterday, Pedro Villarreal.
Yeah, he was the only guy, his 17th appearance. Batters are hitting over 300 against him. On July 22nd, he threw a career high 4 1/3 innings in relief. And they'll continue to work on that drying agent.
Well, they've been kind of...
Once you start on it, boy, you're going to have to keep on going, aren't you?
Yeah, they started kind of... They did their normal dragging of the infield here, and they were really just kind of spreading out the mud a little bit, but they've been also finding the worst spots and putting some sand down to try to alleviate the puddles and the worst spots that we can still see here. And it has definitely gotten better, but still seems extremely slick in the infield.
That's where you really worry about. Ricky, I don't know if you remember the game in Chicago. Started it, and it just should never have started that game.
I do. It was doing post game. You and Danny had that game, I believe.
And Eli Marrero, playing center field in that game, broke his ankle. And he ends up breaking an ankle in a game that was never played because they called it right after, before he hit official status. But that one when you really question the judgment of the umpires. Rarely will I ever do that, but
right. Well, and they've got a lot of mixed kind of purposes too. They understand that you mentioned the Reds are going to Arizona from here, and so you think about all the rain games that Cincinnati's already making up.
They had 3 rainouts already here. So they have some makeup games to go, and they have had an awful lot of rain, which everybody has, except for California. Had 18 rain delays before today, totaling 23 hours, 32 minutes. That's led to 3 postponements.
count 11 guys. I think it's 11 working on the field at one time, and they are working hard. They really are.
And I said they needed 20.
You're right. 26,053 here, including those 2 rows of people. We saw that shot. Can I see that shot one more time? I love those Cardinal fans and the Reds fans. They're all kind of prepared and smiley, and the Cardinal fans are just freezing and wet. They haven't moved at all in like 5 innings.
They're stuck.
Let them borrow the umbrella for an inning.
It's 64 degrees, so it's a little
exactly
chilly.
It's cold here.
You notice the veteran move. I went over to Tommy Brenneman and got a jacket from him. And we're dry.
You're a smart man, Al.
Occasionally.
Cardinals will have 9-1-2 this inning, and we were talking in the break whether or not the Cardinals might consider pinch hitting for Michael Wacha. 6 solid innings for Wacha. He's thrown 92 pitches, 55 of them for strikes through 6. Of course, you want your starter to go longer, but you think of all the conditions that he's working in today, that might be one of those times to lessen his innings. But you have a ball game here, 3-0.
He had a ball game. I think, it didn't bother him. He didn't warm up, with the hour and 8-minute rain delay to start the game.
Right.
So you kind of creature of habit, you get in your routine, but he's done a good job of managing his time, because you could fall into that trap. But he gives a weather report and says, "Oh, we're not going to play this game. It's too bad."
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're out there on the mound and facing Joey Votto or something with the game on the line.
Well, there were plenty of weather experts prior to the game around the ballpark here. It always happens.
It started on Tuesday.
Yeah, it always happens. And from a player's point of view, you prepare for the game, you take batting practice, you do what you do, you hit underneath, you play catch, whatever you get a chance to do. But it's still, when the game starts, these guys are pros. It kicks in, and they are ready to compete. And speaking of competing, the Cardinals would like to compete with a home run here in our Gateway Honda home run inning. If a Cardinal is able to hit a home run in this inning, I'm not thinking that Michael Wacha is going to do that, but if he does, the Honda dealers, the Gateway Honda dealers, will donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Villarreal has allowed 3 home runs in just 29 innings. Villarreal has been up and down 5 times this season. Between here in AAA.
I'm not saying Wacha couldn't hit a home run.
You tried to.
He wasn't cheated on that first swing, was he? He's bounced out twice. He really pitched masterfully today, and I, for one, just as soon he kind of make an out and go sit down and prepare for the 7th. I'll never forget the first time I saw Bruce Sutter get a base hit. He was hitting in the 8th inning of a game. He got a hit with 2 outs, and he was yelling at himself the whole way down to first base.
Why do you do that?
Exactly. It's funny. He just wanted to focus on pitching, but he ran into one. Got a hit. Still got the job done, as he always did.
And I'm sure Bruce has been in a situation a lot where he even would have a lead and say, hey, I want my offense not to score anymore. I want to get out there and finish it.
That's enough, guys. Crowd has certainly dwindled here this afternoon. 26,053 announced.
A lot of them are tucked underneath the stands.
They are. Smartly so. Matt Carpenter in the on-deck circle will bat next against Villarreal, who delivers that pitch, fouled off again by Wacha, who's hanging tough. Always nice to win a series on the road. The Cardinals with a chance to do that here this afternoon, enjoying a 3-0 lead behind Wacha.
really for the last few years, it really didn't matter if you were in St. Louis or Cincinnati. The Cardinals were going to walk out with the series victory.
Payoff pitch, swing and a miss. Waka strikes out. And that's how things start here in the 7th inning. Matt Carpenter is 1 for 2, and he is our Kia in the driver's seat. Most home runs with 2 strikes. You think of Carpenter as a terrific 2-strike hitter, and this number kind of bears that out. Giancarlo Stanton has 12 home runs with 2 strikes. Carpenter right behind him with 9. Granderson and Bryce Harper, who leads the National League in home runs, also with 9. And a strike on the outside corner to Matt.
Now, the Reds did win the series last week in St. Louis 2-1. But in the previous 17 series between these two teams, the Reds are 3-14.
Change up, fouled off at 85.
In the last 8 series here at the Great American Ballpark, since he's only won 2 of those 8 series.
Through 6 innings last night, there was only 9 hits in the game. Through 6 innings this afternoon, just 7. 4 for the Cardinals, 3 for Cincinnati. Jam shot right to Suarez for out number 2. Well, you just have 4 hits, but you got to make them count. The Cardinals have done that. Speed has been a part of that. Stolen base has been a factor. Reds fans, and there's the Cardinal fan look today.
Kind of loyalty. They won't buy those red ponchos, will they?
No, well, we wouldn't like that if they did.
Turn it inside out. Stay
well,
warm.
that's a good point. The Brewers series, by the way, that's coming up. Lance Lynn will start game 1. It'll be Garcia and Lackey in games 2 and 3 against Milwaukee. We'll see Willie Peralta in game 2 and Jimmy Nelson in game 3 of that series. Right down central to Piscotty. Might have been a good pitch for him to drive 2-0. Piscotty 0 for his last 11 all of a sudden. Has seen his average dip to 304. Still pretty good. Real good. Fouls that one off. Tell you, you're a fan at the ballpark today. You have sat in the rain for 6 straight innings. You deserve something for that. I don't know. Give him a medal. Give him a blue ribbon.
I was thinking you should buy her a poncho.
That's a good idea. Base hit to right. Nice play by Bruce running it down, but it'll still be a double for Stephen Piscotty with 2 outs. Bruce kept that ball from rolling to the wall. Piscotty, we've seen some times where he likes to go the other way. He's not afraid to hit to that ball into the right center field gap.
I remember prior to this year, he's a line drive hitter. So a line drive hitter is going to spray the ball around. And we still haven't seen the long ball from him, but there's nothing wrong with being a line drive hitter, especially when you're hitting 300.
Yeah, if you got a line drive hitter, I think you'll find a place for him. That's the name of the game.
And especially if you can get some line drive and extra base hits.
Want to know the count to Jason Hayward, who has factored heavily into this 3-0 Cardinal lead. He can add to that here. Grounder, foul, broke his bat. Have to get a new one. Now, you're talking about line drives, Al. There's of all the new statistics, and there are hundreds of them, but the line drive percentage to me is one of my favorite new kind of stat that sabermetricians are tracking and getting us used to reporting on. But if you're hitting line drives at a high rate, you're going to have a good season. And from a pitcher's point of view, if you're giving up a lot of line drives, you're going to have a bad season. And that to me is, it doesn't always, it's not always going to work out right. You're going to hit a line drive right at somebody. I get it. But in the long run, you hit line drives, you'll succeed.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You weren't surprised by that, were you?
No, but
exactly.
It's not new. But the way to track that and to say that this guy has got a high line drive percentage, or a pitcher on the other side, those are the guys you don't want to put in there.
And I know one of the Cardinal metrics too is the speed off the bat.
Right.
It makes sense. Faster is coming off the bat, more chance it's going to carry or be a line drive that's going to do some damage. You power it through the infield, a ground ball that'll go through, it's hit so hard, or find a gap.
I like that one too. Al and I becoming sabermetricians here in the 7th inning in Cincinnati. (3-0) St. Louis. They've out-hit Cincinnati 5-3, an errorless game.
So far, my weather forecasting ability is just like the professionals.
I think that's a dig on our weather profession.
I think they do a great job, and they're wrong most of the time.
Full count to Hayward. Ground ball, foul, stays alive. Well, you said it was coming out. You just didn't say when.
Getting bad reports from my associates.
Got to know who to trust.
The Doppler's broke.
It's actually as bright here as it's been.
Yes. That's what made me think of that.
For some time. We'll see if it hangs on or not. Pitch to Hayward. Ground ball, hard hit up the middle. Nice play by Suarez. And he throws out Hayward. Notice everybody on the field running very gingerly. And we're trying to dry off a little bit as well. Michael Wacha, 6 solid innings, 5 strikeouts. Colton Wong, a big 2-run single to stretch the Cardinal lead to 3. Lorenzen, the starter for Cincinnati, went 5 innings. Joey Votto has reached base all 3 times, hitting a couple of walks. Been checking out our fans all afternoon long. There's a Cardinal fan. I think he's dressed well, and oh boy, he may be dressed for the weather, but there's something wrong with that attire, Al.
Oh, he looks perfect.
Just trying to get you going a little bit.
Oh, no.
Is that, by the way, is that your source for the Doppler weather that you've been giving us?
That guy?
Yeah.
No. I love Cub fans. There's an umbrella.
Cardinal umbrella.
Did you enjoy bantering with the fans sitting at Wrigley Field right over your shoulder?
Oh, I found out, oh boy, did I ever.
I never knew my mother was so talented until the things they told me she could do.
One guy yelled at me one day, and he was only like 12. He was a kid, and I said, hey, come on. And he goes, hey, just take it, Horton. And I said, hey, it's Mr. Horton to you, pal. And he said, hey, it's Mr. Pal to you, Horton. That's what he said right off the cuff. Our guys laughed. He won the argument. They were pretty harsh in that bullpen. And right next to you.
Yeah, I mean, I had fun with people. First 5 innings or so, I'd carry on conversation with the fans and have fun with them.
As you and I have fun together when we do this, Al. We got a great view of Cardinal baseball here in Cincinnati, and so far it's been good news for Cardinal fans. 3-0 Redbirds. Michael Wacha back to work in the 7th. You guess this would be his last inning, pitch count wise, as he's in the 90s, facing Bird, Suarez, and the catcher Barnhart.
I think we all be very, very pleased he comes out of this inning. 3-0 lead and turn it over the last 2 innings to the bullpen.
7 innings, no runs in his last start. Like to duplicate that. Good breaking pitch. Strikes out Bird for the 2nd time. Wacha on a roll here this afternoon.
He's had a good breaking ball, and there you see it. You're 6'6", and you start that ball about the belt buckle, and it breaks down on the ground. You're going to have effect. Good results.
That one sits up a bit, lined into left by Suarez, his 2nd hit of the afternoon, and just the 4th for Cincinnati. Still a close game. It's just 3-0 Cardinals, so plenty of work to be done here today.
Now, you don't take anything for granted, particularly in this ballpark.
Barnhart has some power. He doesn't play a lot, but he has 3 home runs, 8 RBIs. And Wacha would prefer the double play here. And the first pitch is a called strike with a changeup. Actually, a ball up. Close to being a strike. And the next delivery is popped up. Left side, and there's Carpenter. So a pinch hitter will be Ivan DeJesus Jr. We saw him here late last night.
He hit last night. 0 for 1, snapping his career high 6-game hitting streak. DeJesus was hit 455, 10 for 22 during that streak.
Looks so much like his father.
You know, he became the 28th different Red shortstop to play next to Phillips. He really does, facially.
Oh my goodness.
Resembles his dad quite a bit.
Ivan, his father, such a good shortstop for the Cubs for many years. There's his numbers. From very close to Jose Oquendo's hometown in Puerto Rico. Dylan Axelrod will be the next Reds pitcher as DeJesus bats for Villarreal. Good fastball. He still has good life, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
95. Wow. It's where you earn it here too, Al. You got to just keep going. Push, push, push until they tell you you're done. Somebody else's turn.
I think that's what's good about the Cardinal starters. They feed off each other.
Up the middle. That's Garcia. Flipping to Wong. Could be it for Wacha. Either way, terrific performance this afternoon. Reports update. Thanks, Pat. And I guess Greinke, not his best performance. Al, but he hits a home run. That probably makes him feel a little better.
Yeah, he went 6 innings, 6 earned runs. Michael Wacha getting his congratulations with his 7 shutout innings. By the way, Greinke's ERA shot all the way up to 1.71 with his 6 earned runs. Michael Wacha, boy, what a job he's done. Axelrod will take over. He was the loser last night, and just a young pitcher. So he's 0-1 on the season with a 17.36 ERA. Chevy called to the bullpen. It's only his 4th appearance today, but previously he's thrown 4 2/3 innings, Ricky. 7 hits allowed, 9 runs, all earned, 4 home runs, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts. Opponents are batting .318 against him. So he's got a little work to be done.
One of the tough things about being a reliever who's off to a bad start, you can say small sample size all you want, but you still have to wear that number.
And of course, the first batter you face is the guy that was the last or he hit the home run off you. He got a changeup last night. Grichuk hit it out for his 13th home run and the game winner.
Been a rough afternoon for Grichuk. He struck out 3 times, getting that chance to be in the cleanup spot. 8-game hitting streak on the line for Randall. I've heard Mike Matheny talk about this before, and others. I think Tony La Russa talked about it a lot too. Sometimes you don't want to put one of your young guys into that cleanup spot because they almost expect that they have to do more, or they may kind of take on that mantle of, okay, I'm the guy now, and you don't really want to kind of push him too far with that. But made sense for him to be there the way he's swinging the bat.
And I'm sure Mike said, stay within yourself.
Big league pop up right side. Who wants it? Votto does. Out number 1.
Solid, where one of the 3 prospects that 3 left-handers that the Reds got in the Cueto deal, Cody Reed last night went a career high 8 innings with 12 strikeouts at Double-A. They said the first of those 3 to get to the big leagues will be Lamb.
To the right side. Wong is now 1 for 3. Famous Footwear and the Cardinals are proud to offer fans tickets for just $6 each to see the Cardinals take on the D-backs, the Brewers, and the Twins. Get your $6 tickets now at cardinals.com/famous footwear. Don't delay. This offer is too good to miss. Brandon Moss looking for his first hit of the day. Takes that pitch low. Reds will have the top of the order in the bottom of the 8th. Wacha almost an identical line to what he did against Colorado his last time out. Bourgeois has it. Moss retired. 6 more outs left for the Cardinals to get. How will they do? 8th inning. Michael Wacha, a terrific start, and he gives way to one of the new Cardinals out there in their bullpen, the veteran Jonathan Broxton.
Jonathan has had 3 appearances for the Cardinals, and he's been perfect. Last night he came in, had 1 inning to work, 3 punch outs. In his 3 innings with the Cardinals, he's got 5 punch outs. Those are his overall numbers, but kind of throw him away. He got off to a real bad start early in the season, and he lately been pitching very well, and part of the double switch is Borges goes in to play center field. So
Grichuk out. Borges will hit in the 9th spot, so we'll see him in the top of the 9th inning. And Broxton now in the cleanup spot for St. Louis. Broxton will face Brandon Phillips, working from the stretch. Ball 1. Seen a lot of off-speed pitches from Broxton, who still throws hard, or does throw hard. But he's got a nice little mix.
Let's take a look at what his one-day pitch arsenal is. See, still a lot of four-seamers, sinkers. Likes that slider as his secondary pitch.
There's the sinker, down and in.
He was very, very good when he was here for the Reds. He was the eighth inning man, and then Chapman. They had two shutdown relievers. Closer early in his career with the Dodgers.
Another good sinker. Stay down in the zone, good things happen.
Yeah, and, you know, the thing is, too, I can't tell you how many Reds came up to me and just said what a great teammate he is, what a good guy. Talked about a little bit with Rosenthal and conferred that. Quiet man, big man, but he's got a lot to say, you know, to help out some of these young relievers down there, too.
Trying to finish off Phillips. Broxton has the 8th, and just barely getting a piece is the Reds second baseman. Phillips very tough to strike out. He's in the top 10 in the National League, and he's always in that conversation. So is Yadier Molina, both of them in the top 10.
It's interesting because he has had success against Broxton, 4 for 11 with 4 punch-outs.
The 2-2 grounded foul. And how about the job this afternoon, Al, that Tony Cruz has done?
We always, you know, we always feel like you want to paint a big hero's brush on Tony because we care so much about him. He's in those same meetings with Yachty. He's out there trying to learn and work and has the respect of the pitching staff. Just doesn't get much playing opportunity, but the Cardinals are very comfortable with Tony Cruz as their backup, and it's a tough job to be that good teammate when you don't get to play that often.
Got a big hit in this game, and he's caught Walker well.
It was the potential game winner. Drove in the first run.
I'll tell you, the infield looks a lot better now than it did 3 innings ago.
And I think part of it is because it really, if it's rain, it's just barely. You know,
ground ball to short. Garcia has it and throws out Phillips.
Kind of like the old college days when you think about Garcia and Wong, University of Hawaii together.
How about that? Playing together again. Garcia and Wong were teammates there. It's a pretty good team.
I think pretty good climate.
I would love to have been at every one of their games. How about you?
Not really.
No. I would have.
I think I'd be doing some other things there.
Oh, okay.
Marlin fishing.
Well, you can do marlin fishing and then go to the games the same day, can't you?
No. I fish all day. And if it's swordfish, it's all night.
Jason Bourgeois is 0 for 3 facing Broxton here in the 8th. The Reds need base runners. They're in that part of the order where the last thing you want to do is walk Jason Bourgeois. Votto next, then Frazier, then Bruce. And he walked Jason Bourgeois.
It's usually something Broxton doesn't do.
Right.
But it is the second plate appearance for Bourgeois against Broxton. And he walked both times.
That one on 4 pitches. And now things getting a little dicier here. Think about where the Reds are in this 8th inning as far as their order is concerned. This may be the toughest of the 2 innings. We had that same kind of impression here last night. Tough to get through this part of the order. Votto has not been retired yet today. Walked twice and doubled. One and one. Some guys are just hard to throw strikes to. They have such good plate coverage. You're not sure where you want to go with them, and it's intimidating.
I'm thinking Broxton knows Votto so well. He goes, the last thing I want to do is walk a guy ahead of him. How many times will you say, I can't walk this guy, and you go ahead and walk him?
Normally the way it works.
Yeah, and you know, you're just so much in your head that you change and alter your approach, and you don't throw strikes.
You learn that somewhere as a teammate of a guy trying to perform at a high professional level. You learn that you're better off painting the picture of the positive thing you want him to do than telling him don't do the negative thing. And so that's what you do as a teammate, but you also have to have that internal language that you're talking about the same way. If you say don't walk him, you start to squeeze the baseball and bad things happen. Good pitch there by Broxton at 92 on a swing and a miss by Votto.
It's kind of like you bring in a reliever and he's been warming up thinking all positive thoughts, and the first thing you ask him to do is to intentionally pass somebody.
Choate and Manus getting loose for St. Louis. Ryan Matthews for Cincinnati. Wheels are turning, both managers. Big pitch here, 2-2 to Votto. This is low, 3-2. Bourgeois the runner at first. One out in the 8th. Cruz asks for a sinker. And it's just off the plate. Bourgeois was running. Third walk of the day for Votto. Now you're really asking for trouble.
Sometimes that puts you in an awkward position with Mike, with one of your new acquisitions who's a former closer. Now you come out here and this game is very much in jeopardy with the potential tying run at home plate. You want to send a positive message, but you don't want to lose the game.
Well hit, center field. Back goes Borges. On the track, it makes the play. A long, loud out off the bat of Todd Frazier.
He's had 4 balls in the air today. 3 to the outfield and 1 to second base.
So do you bring in Choate here to face Jay Bruce?
Yep.
Bit of a hanger. Broxton got his man. Now it'll be up to Randy Choate. Will make his way in from the Cardinals bullpen. That's it for Broxton. Tough outs left to get. 3-0 St. Louis. Great American Ballpark. Randy Choate. Key situation. Our Chevy call to the bullpen. Appearance number 54.
It is 54. He has been very busy. He's all major league left-handed pitchers in games since 09. This is his 458th during that time. And Jay Bruce is 2 for 13 against him.
Key spot in the game here. Choate delivers a slider, strike one. Bruce is 0 for 3. He represents the tying run at the plate. Votto and Bourgeois the runners. Choate, a sinker slider pitcher, and there's a slider hit high, long, and foul.
Talking about that sinker slider, you know, so often you just think so much of the slider, and then he'll fool you. And sneaky fastball, a little, not great velocity, but usually he can throw it either away or in under the hands of a left-handed batter.
There's the 2 for 13. Ahead of him, 0-2. Choate trying to finish off his man here. Looks like they'll go to the slider again. Set up outside, and a swing and a miss. Choate strikes out Jay Bruce. Important out here in the 8th inning. The Cardinals bullpen has been terrific in this series. There's another example. Thanks, Pat. And look forward to the post-game show. One of my favorite things about the post-game, and Al, you and I get a chance to do those, is you hear from the players, you hear from the manager, you get the full story after the game, so you won't want to miss our post-game show following what's hopefully just one more inning of play.
Yeah, you know, Mike Matheny does a nice job answering all the questions and helping out, but I miss Tony TV.
A little more volatile, let's say.
Oh, poor Jim. There were times that, and you know what? And they had a great relationship.
They did, very much so.
But Tony would react times right after a game, a tough loss, and you know, and Jim knew that it was nothing personal. It was just in his DNA.
Watch out. That ball didn't hit anybody down the left field line. People scattering. And they want the baseball, and hopefully everybody is okay.
And we talk about Tony Cruz, and we always talk about how much we like him. He's got the first RBI of this ball game. If that holds up, it will be his 4th game-winning RBI in his last 5 games with an RBI. Doesn't get a lot of them, but
they count.
They count.
Maybe it'll earn him. Line drive to left, sinking, but handled by Bird. You think the ultimate thrill for him would be to talk to Jim Hayes after a game? I mean, forget the game-winning RBI. If you get a chance to do an interview with Jim on the field afterwards,
that gets to the. It doesn't get any better than that.
It's just below the hungo, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh boy.
Garcia looking for his first hit here this afternoon. He's 0 for 2. He was walked intentionally, facing Axelrod. Ground ball to the right side. He's retired on 1 pitch. And looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th now for Cincinnati. They will have Bird, Suarez, and Barnhart. And we'll remind you that this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals.
So it appears that we're going to get this game played and completed without any delays.
Are you surprised?
Started. Yeah, very much.
Me too. Especially with your Doppler forecast that you gave us about 3 innings ago.
That just guaranteed that we'd play.
Well, you said the rain was coming. You just didn't say it was to Cincinnati.
Yeah, because it's gone around us. So it's not even going to come to Cincinnati anymore.
Peter Borges entered the game as part of a double switch. First plate appearance for him. Popped up behind home plate. Barnhart gives it a look. Two and two on the Cardinals center fielder Borges. He has not played very much lately. You would think his timing could be off a bit. Foul just below us. Cardinals hoping to go 30 games over 500. And there's a call, third strike at the knees. 1-2-3 inning again for Axelrod. 3 more outs to get. Cardinals bullpen this series, we've been giving them some credit, and why wouldn't we? When you look at these numbers, 11 innings, just 2 hits and 12 strikeouts. Derek Lillick was very happy with what these guys have done. In fact, the Cardinals pitchers overall have put up 17 straight zeros as they give way to Rosenthal, our Chevy call to the bullpen.
And Rosenthal trying to pick up his 32nd save and hit that with his bare hand, but I think he's all right.
It's going to be a base hit. Probably should have let that ball go. Just instinct, though, isn't it, Al? To stick that hand up there.
Yeah, you do it, especially your bare hand. You don't want to do it, but get it off those fingertips and a little dicey, deflected away. Colt Wong's so good with his range, probably would have gobbled that ball up. But have to work a little harder. Looking for save number 32. He's tied for second in saves with Kimbrel, and Lanson has 34.
Rosenthal throwing 97. Not exactly Chapman speed, but he gets it up there. Fly ball to right. Suarez retired.
The Cardinals are about to win another series, and they've gotten off the start of this road trip. They started today batting 192 on their trip, and with just 5 hits, they haven't done much more damage either, but look like they're going to win another series.
2 more precious outs to get. Rosenthal almost fell down on that delivery. A little trouble with his landing foot. The Cardinals, we mentioned, 29 games over 500, hoping to go to 30 games over 500 for the first time this season.
5 times they've been stuck on 29.
Two and 0.
Waka pitched so well, and he was well deserving of his 13th victory. Cardinals would go to 69 and 39. 2 big outs. How about a double play ball?
Barnhart at the plate, and the pitch. Jammed him and fouled it. Swinging at a 2-0 pitch. I believe that was a strike, but boy, if you're the Reds, you just need one more base runner, don't you?
Absolutely. You got to think some way, somehow you get on base, try to extend it.
Brian Pena in the on deck circle. He'll hit for the reliever Axelrod. 2-1 pitch, late swing and a foul. 2-2. Seems like with 2 strike counts, you get a lot of double play ground balls because guys are going to a little bit more in protect mode. Put the ball in play. See if Rosenthal can get that here. The 2-2 pitch. High for a ball, 3-2. Ground ball off the foot of Barnhart. Reds won game 1 of this series 3-2. Very close game. Really a fun game. And game 2 of the series was a long one, but also a fun one, and the Cardinals took that one 4-3. Another close game here.
Cardinal bullpen once again last night. 8 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, no runs period, 9 strikeouts.
Out of play.
First time since 1914 the Cardinal bullpen went 8 innings and allowed only 1 hit and no runs. The bullpen for this year against Cincinnati, they will have they have now 33 innings, just 6 earned runs.
And ball 4. Rosenthal walks Barnhart, so the tying run will come to the plate. Understanding that our game is still in question here, we still want to give you our Budweiser player of the game because we think he deserved it. Michael Wacha, 7 solid innings, no runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, almost a carbon copy of the game that he pitched against Colorado.
5 for 15, 3 doubles and a couple RBIs on the homestand. His last 10 games, he's hit .316.
Change up, fouled back.
He hasn't homered since July 18th when he hit 2 home runs at Yankee Stadium. That was last year. So he's gone 405 at bats without a home run.
Kind of odd. Surprising to me. Rosenthal delivers. Fouled back again. Kind of waved at that changeup. Up in his eyes.
I'd like to get that changeup down.
Yes. I think he saw it up there. He knew it was a changeup. Just trying to flare it the other way. Just couldn't square it up. 0-2 now to Pena. 2 runners aboard, bottom of the 9th, and the pitch inside at 97.
It'll look a lot harder than that after a couple changeups.
Trevor has his sign. The 1-2 pitch is low, 2-2.
This is kind of what you were talking about earlier when, you know, that Maness and Segrist showed have more appearances than Rosenthal, but he throws a ton of pitches. 4th most, I think, of any National League reliever.
16 already in the 9th with just 1 out. The 2-2. Now 3-2. Now you start to get a little concerned. You were aware, maybe a little worried. Now you're a little concerned.
Especially in this ballpark. 3 runs can evaporate quickly.
Big pitch here for Rosenthal. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Now they got the changeup down. Throws a good one right here. And he was swinging at the fastball. 3-2 fastball.
That's some gut staying with the changeup there, isn't it?
But it just shows you too, though, if you sell it, you get that arm down like that, you know, and have that same arm action. You know, you're going to sell that, and you're going to get a lot of guys.
Last chance for Cincinnati is Brandon Phillips. You saw his numbers against Rosenthal. Strike one. Rosenthal looking for save number 32. Trailing only Melanson in the National League. 0-2. Bird and Barnhart, the runners. The 0-2. Hard hit, right field. Hayward over, and he's got it. And a Cardinal winner. Rosenthal picks up the save, his 32nd. The Cardinals go to 30 games over 500, and Michael Wacha picks up victory number 13.
Another good complete game right here. Good focus by the Cardinals with ugly forecast. A lot of people question where we're going to play, but they came out and played, and it all set the tone by Wacha.
Cardinals sure did play today. Jason Hayward, a big part of this Cardinal victory, scored a couple of runs.